Hey guys, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialists. Hope everyone is doing well. I decided to do another little update here on the Krusty Karmann. So this is the 68 one family Ghia that we've had in our shop that came in and had a lot of rust, and turns out it's been in a lot of little fender benders. So I think that fender has been replaced at some point during its life. I don't know if any other body panel has been released, but there was quite a bit of Bondo on this thing here. This back corner, we found some. This corner had been hit. Actually, I'm pretty sure this fender has been replaced now that I think about it. And there was damage all the way into the front of the engine compartment over here, stuff like that. So this car led a pretty hard life. On top of all the accidents that it was in, or seems to have been in, it did have a lot of rust. See, the floor is pretty much just gone there. So this is a native Southern California car, but it sat unloved for a long time, and the environment kind of took its toll on it. So yeah, lots of rust. So just brief recap. Pretty much we replaced this whole area here on both sides on the front. Pretty much replaced the whole up underneath here, almost all the way across. A lot inside there. So you can see an earlier update on this car when I talk about those areas on the front of the car. So now we'll talk more about kind of the back part of the car, which I haven't talked about since the last update on this car. So as you can see, the rear rockers were pretty much gone, and so that includes the outer skin, which is the part you see here. But then when you remove that, the inner part also was pretty toast. Not surprisingly, you know, rust usually goes through multiple layers, and so yeah, you can kind of see the line about right there where he cut it off to replace. So the sheet metal replacement that we bought from Airhead Parts went from that little seam there up to about the bottom of this this body line right here and across. But this area on the car was pretty good, so Renee decided to kind of replace it from there down on this side. The other side was a little bit different story, but yeah, so this is new outer skin here, and then he pretty much ended up making a bunch of pieces for the inner skin, which of course you can't see. And you can see that this fender was kind of misshaped here, so he went and banged that out a lot, and I think did some welding around it. You can also kind of see, it's probably hard to tell in the video, but there's some pretty thick Bondo on here, so it seems like this fender was probably banged up at some point. So we got to keep taking this thing down to metal and see what's underneath here. Probably, well, not probably, there's definitely Bondo here, so who knows what's underneath here, but we'll take it down to metal like we have here, and then Renee can do his best to kind of massage the metal back into shape as much as possible, and then it'll get just a thin skim coat and, you know, body worked and stuff from there. But so that's pretty much this side here. I don't remember if I have shown this back here, but this was one of the worst spots on the car. The corners of the rear window frame were pretty much gone, like here and there, and then the package tray here was mostly gone on that side, and just a pretty huge mess. So the donor body that we got, Renee removed from it and put on here a section from about here all the way to here. You can kind of see the line where it's welded, and then most of the package tray over there. So that's all been replaced. And then likewise, no, I haven't shown this before. There was also, I guess because this rear area here was eaten out, is that water apparently got down here. So this part of the rear, I don't know, I guess you would call that luggage compartment, was pretty much gone. And then this little, I guess I would call it like a shelf almost, was also largely gone. So that piece there and this shelf section here all came out of the donor car, got welded in. So that was something we didn't even know about. It was only once we like pulled the back seat out and started poking around back there and pulled out upholstery that we saw that was all gone in there too. So this car just keeps surprising us with how much of it's gone. But anyway, yeah, onto the back here. So he did do some damage from some prior accident in there in the sheet metal. And then there was a little bit of rust in the battery section over here. It actually wasn't too bad, but underneath it was pretty toasty. And then pretty much the whole rear valence here was just very problematic. So we pretty much, again, off the donor car, replaced this whole piece here. I think from about here all the way over, and then I think into right here. So this whole sort of like almost U-shaped piece, including the rear outer part of the body, all been replaced thanks to our donor car, which has generously given its life for us to put this car back together. More pretty thick Bondo that you can see here that he's kind of started grinding through. So yeah, we're gonna have to keep removing Bondo and see what's going on with the body here, and you know, do our best to metal work it out and try and minimize the amount of filler that's in there, of course. So here's the other rocker side. Okay, this side was actually the better of the two. I was thinking that this side was the worst. This one you can kind of see where he seamed in the new metal there. It's kind of almost like triangular shaped piece here. And then like the other side though, the inner skin in here was also pretty gone. So a lot of replacement up kind of behind this section here. And then, you know, a little minor metal work and stuff down here. But yeah, so that is where we are with this one now. I think next he's got to pretty much finish the engine compartment here. It's pretty rough right now, so he needs to go and do some more metal work in here, and then eventually this will all be skimmed and body worked and stuff like that. And then again, just keep removing paint and uncover what Bondo and stuff is underneath here, and start hammer and dollying it out to you know, make it not a total Bondo bucket. You know, some dents here that need to be addressed, obviously, stuff like that. So that is the update on this thing. Again, full of surprises. We knew the car had rust. We did not, however, know that it had so much body damage from accidents. So we kind of keep uncovering that as we go, but hopefully the this fender here is actually done. So this one was okay. So I think the last sort of vestige, so to speak, of body damage is probably this fender here that we haven't really taken it down to bare metal yet. So this should be it, guys. Once we finish this fender and do metal work here, then it should be about ready for final body work, and then we'll see about spraying this thing. So maybe, I don't know, another month or so. Hard to say, but yeah, Renee has pretty much almost been working full-time on this one, doing some other little projects here and there, but this thing is actually, for how bad it was and how much work it's needed, it's moving along in a pretty decent clip. So that is the update for the Krusty Karmann, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.